right, so hello everyone. My name is Lydia Archambo. I am the Stormwater Coordinator for Allen Soil and Water Conservation District, as well as the Executive Director of the Ottawa River Coalition. So, going into that a little bit more, these two go kind of hand in hand, the Ottawa River Coalition and Allen Soil and Water. I like to describe these two things as delivering big concepts to you in simple words. So this is my version of the Clean Water Act. Clean water, good. Bad water, bad. Do not make water dirty. Follow the rules. And that's the Clean Water Act for you. If you can't tell, obviously that's way simplified. But in another way, the Clean Water Act is over 100 pages long. It is really wordy, and it's important that people can understand what these large documents are trying to explain to people. So, the Allen Soil and Water Conservation District is a local government agency. Every single county has one in Ohio. And our job is to promote the wise use of water and soil and tell you how to do that. The Ottawa River Coalition is a local nonprofit formed in 1993 to stand as a bridge between stakeholders in the community and the government. So if there's a big issue taking place about anything involving our waters and our waterways, we as an entity, oh, hey, I'm supposed to be speaking at the museum right now. My alarm's going off. All right. If there's a big issue pertaining to water quality, we can discuss that with the public and say what this means, and we can also take a stance on it, either opposed or with it. So that's the Clean Water Act. The Ottawa River Coalition also has a scholarship opportunity for college students. It's the Cyber Scholarship. Applications this year are due July 30th, 2025. There's more information on that on our website. I'll have that posted at the end. But this is a scholarship for environmental majors, in that you need to tell us why you are an environmental steward, why you care, and why you are trying to promote the environment and protecting it. This was started.
Is that for senior high school?
No, it's actually a really unique scholarship where it's for college students only. So, if you are a freshman through junior in college, or if you're, you had to stay a little longer in college because you switched your major or what have you, you can apply for it then. So, and it's based off of how well your application is. So if we think you wowed us, we'll give you a $2,000 scholarship. If we think you're deserving of it, but you can do better and apply next year, we'll give you $500.
Wow.
So it's based off of how well you wow us. Alright, so the Ottawa River is a headwater stream in that it is located at the top of the larger Maumee watershed. So let's break that down. If you're thinking of waterways like a tree, the Ottawa River is actually the tippy top of the branches. And all that water will go down, not the way a tree actually works, but all that water will go down to the base of the trunk. And that trunk is the Maumee River. It's a relatively small stream compared to the size of Lima in the urban developed area with a lot of industrial pressures. So we are a small stream with a lot going on around it. So it's really important that we consider our waterways as we move into such an industrial time.
How big is it?
How big is it?
Like how long is the Ottawa River?
I believe it's about 400 some miles, I believe. Because this will break it down a little bit better for you. So the Ottawa River watershed I like to think of watersheds like a bathtub and a sink, or like these funnels here. So if you imagine the Ottawa River as this top funnel, no matter where the water ends up in this second funnel, it's all ending up in the same spot. So when it rains in the Ottawa River watershed, it all ends up still in the Ottawa River. The Ottawa River is inside the Auglaize River. So the Ottawa River watershed flows to the Auglaize River. The Auglaize River flows to the Maumee River watershed, which flows to Lake Erie. So all the water here in the little teeny tiny Ottawa River will end up in Lake Erie eventually. Everything south of us goes to the Ohio River. It goes south.
So how did they figure that out?
So they looked at the topography of our landscapes here, and they saw that we are the endpoint. This had a lot to do with the glaciation that took
Right.
place many, many years ago. But when the glaciers came down, it flattened all this. This is glaciated Ohio. And when the glaciers receded, it kind of, if you want to think about it, tilted the land so that the water will travel back down that way.
Lake Erie.
Yep, back to Lake Erie. And everything that didn't get touched by the glaciers still goes down south to the Ohio River. So that's fun stuff about Ohio.
So they put a little paper boat in there to see where it
And
floats.
just followed it the whole time. You know, very scientific. I would like that. Alright, so some other stuff that the Ottawa River Coalition and the Allen Soil and Water Conservation District do to protect our waterways but also educate about our waterways is we have interns. So these are my 2024 interns, Riley and Savannah. They are outfall monitoring. So they walk the rivers and they are looking for pipes that go into our rivers. And they are testing it for, if the pipe is flowing, they're testing that discharge to make sure it's not any pollution, and that's just water. So Riley right here is looking to see if there's any ammonia in it, and Savannah's getting another tube ready. These are my 2023 interns, Sarah and Mitchell. They are out storm drain marking, or data collection, where we're making a comprehensive stormwater map of all of a specific area in Allen County called the MS4. It's a boundary. I won't get too much into that today, but what this map will show is once we have a GIS coordinate of every single storm drain in our county, or within this MS4, and all the pipes in it, if we were to dump something into that storm drain, we would be able to follow where it went and where it was going to go. They're very excited for a very tedious
You would
task.
think they would know that when they put them in.
So it's kind of backtracking because there are some maps. A lot of times when a project was put in, they would make a map. But sometimes those maps didn't overlay, or sometimes a map got lost, or sometimes a new pipe was added to the same storm drain. So we're going around and we're just making one big comprehensive map instead of 50 different projects that we're going in.
I guess with the technology now, it's a lot easier too.
Yeah.
Like dropping a GPS point right here, so you don't have to go out there and go, okay, shoot an azimuth.
Yes, you don't need to have the whole survey stuff. You can just
Right.
take this little piece of equipment and go, boop, this is where we are. The other two pictures here are some education games. This is the YMCA kids that came out, and we are playing a game called Rain Barrel Rush, where we learn how hard it is to be a rain barrel, because they work very hard. And this is a group of ONU college students playing the exact same game, because you are never too old to learn through fun games.
So that top left corner picture?
Yes.
You said they're checking water coming out of pipes?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how do they know where to look?
They don't. So they are actually walking the river, just different stretches of the river. We're GIS cataloging as they're walking. They're GIS marking all of those pipes as well. And every single stretch of the river will be seen at least once every 5 years.
And they follow the pipes about to see who's got the nerve to dump their shit.
Well, that's
in
what,
the Ottawa River.
is it just like some guy that lives along the river and they just go, hey, I'm gonna just.
It can be a matter of things. So it can be, sure, it could be some random Joe Schmo who dumps something in the river. It could also be a business who doesn't necessarily know that they are discharging right now because a pipe broke. Or it could be a sump pump that, heaven forbid, broke and is now flowing into the river.
Wow.
So they are looking for things that, and the other thing to add for it is when they go out to do this, it cannot rain for 72 hours. So in theory, there should be no rain coming out of that.
Any washout or any
Right.
runoff.
So flow is a little bit more suspicious. But luckily, still, most of the time, it's just water. It's just coming from another another entity at that point, washing something away. Okay. So, next thing we'll talk about is the Ohio EPA Biological Water Quality Survey. It really rolls off the tongue. The Ohio EPA does our testing once every 10 or so years. They come into our rivers and they are testing for different things, such as right here. This is the module group. They come in and they test for things like turbidity, ammonia, not ammonium, ammonia, phosphate, and flow.
Actually,
Downloaded weird.
surveys misspelled.
Survey. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
That's what I did for a living.
Survey.
I proofread documents.
But they come in and they do stuff like that. The other group is the fish and bug crew. That's the one that I was on when I was with the Ohio EPA. So one group will come in and they will test for bugs, and the other group will come in and they will test all the fish. Because no one likes to swim in dirty, poopy, stinky water. Well, bugs and fish don't either. So you can actually tell how healthy the water is based off of the bugs and the fish you are finding in that community. Certain bugs are more tolerant, certain fish are more tolerant. But then on that same side of the same coin, some fish are more sensitive, some bugs are more sensitive.
You said they come out how often?
About once every 10 years or so.
So who tested in between there?
We do. That's why the interns
okay.
go out. Yep. Yep. But this is a large, like this is huge. They are testing a lot. They are testing everything. And we'll get into that here in a second. So this is a photo from about turn of the century, around 1900s, here in Lima. You can still see that the water is algae. There's algae in it.
Is that what it used to look like, Mom?
I'm not quite that old.
And there's a horse and buggy.
Yeah.
But it's because we're a headwater stream, we don't have a lot of flow up here. We don't have water feeding into our river. We are the water that feeds into other places. So you're going to have algae in it. And you can see that here. This is a picture from 2017. I wanted to go take a picture today, but it was I was in a river with some kiddos, and then it started raining, so I couldn't really do that. But this is from 2017. You can still see that same algae growing there, but it's not almost as bad.
Is that like the same picture?
Yes, this is the same location.
Wow, just
Yep.
100 years or 125 years.
Yeah, isn't that cool? The Pierce Street Bridge. So if you're driving over Pierce, that's
Pierce, where's
you're
Pierce
kind
at?
of, well, if you're driving over the street next to Pierce, then you can see it.
So the bridge is Pierce Street.
Yes, the bridge is Pierce Street.
Okay.
Yes.
So for that algae, do you just kind of like scoop that out, or is that like what is that?
Yeah, it's algae. So algal growth is going to happen when you have stagnant, non-moving water. It just happens. It's what happens when you have nutrients in the water. It happens. Extra nutrients, no movement, sunlight, you're going to have algae. And then we don't have any movement, like I said, because we're the headwater stream, so we almost always have algae. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of the nature of our water. So at Soil and Water, we get a lot of calls about algae and the concerns about algae because of Lake Erie and harmful algal blooms. And in theory, when you have a lot of algae, it can lead to a bad thing, but if it's the nature of your water, or ours kind of starts to flow when the water flows and goes away, it's not bad.
Could you treat that like a fish tank and just put like a...
You don't want to put a ton of chemicals in our rivers.
Not chemicals, just like something that moves the water. You know what I mean? Like a...
So, like an aerator or
something like that, just kind of keep
So,
it moving somewhere along a river that...
it wouldn't necessarily work in a river.
Oh.
Just from the sheer fact that the way a river system works is so unique. The way our river system works is so unique compared to the Auglaize River, which is just down the road, which is so unique compared to the Maumee River where it flows next. It's not something that you just go in and change. There has to be a lot of consideration into it, and right now there's not a lot of research to support moving the river your own way.
I guess the algae that's here once it moves downriver, it helps that river do something else. Or something.
Yeah, it's forever changing.
Yeah,
It could, especially because we are the headwaters, if what we do here impacts further down the road, we don't want to make the mistake, but we also, we want to make it better. So
Right.
it'd be great, but right now we don't have that. All right, so back in the 1980s, we were the poster child for bad water. Now, everyone says, but the Cuyahoga caught on fire, oh, the muddy Maumee, the waters were dreary in Lake Erie. No. The Ottawa River was pronounced dead in the 1980s. We had almost no life in our water. We were the poster child for dead water. This picture of this fish was found in almost every single bad water quality study document there was. This is from the Ohio EPA 1987 study of the Ottawa River. All of our fish had these delts on them, their fins were eroding, they had these fungal growths going on them, lesions, tumors. Almost every single fish had that, if the fish was living. If the fish was dead, it still had it, but...
Is that just because all the industry here during
We'll
the,
get
like
into
the,
that in a
oh,
second.
okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, you're good. So, we were the poster child for bad water. This was very concerning because this not only scared people because that's our drinking water and water is life. But it also scared a lot of people about industry and it scared a lot of people about farming because agribusiness is the largest industry in Allen County. And it still is today. But as I always tell kids, do you like the shoes on your feet and the food that you eat? You need to thank a farmer and you need to thank a business. We need factories and we need farmers. They just have these rules set in place so that they don't have to damage our water. We can still use them and we are happy and healthy and so is our water. So the Ohio EPA also came in 1996. And that's when they started doing these really nice pictures. These are the pictures that we like to use all the time. So the line here that's colored, this is the Ottawa River. The red here is non-attainment. Non-attainment means that it didn't reach our goal. We did not attain our goal. It's bad water. The yellow is partial attainment. We're kind of there, but not fully. And the blue is full attainment. We did it! So that's when the Ohio EPA comes in and they're testing for all those things. The turbidity, the ammonia, the phosphate, the bugs, the fish, everything.
Come on, let me get the rest of the legend over there.
Yeah, you can see some of the main entities
Bristol
here.
Reservoir is named after my dad's uncle.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so this was the 1996 study. There's a lot of red on there. We got some blue, but there's a lot of red on there. In fact, if we break it down some, in the 1996 study, full attainment was at 28.2%. That's a lot better than when they found those fish with the delts, where it was 9.6%.
So that's not even 10 years later.
Well, they were really concerned about our water, and it's not 10 years later, but that's why I said about every 10 years. It's when they can get to it. It's when they want to come. So this was scary. So they did actually come in 1991 and then 1996 again. They did kind of a check-in between. But we were at 40.3% non-attainment. Not
But it's down from
great.
82.
It is down from 82, exactly, because improvement is improvement.
It's still not great.
But it's still not great. We're not dead anymore, though. This is what we like to see. Then they came back in 2010. This is why I like to call the Ottawa River a success story. You want to look at all that map, there's a lot of blue on it. Now, okay, we do still have a section of red, but there's a lot going on right there. There's the refinery, this is where all the industry is in Lima. Now, again, we cannot blame our industry for this. It's the nature of them. They are following the rules that are set in place for them. Even so, because they're following the rules, the water switches here. This was all red in the last one, it's now yellow. So we have stuff in place now to kind of stop that bad water. And we have all this blue, and they actually went out to more tributaries and saw that we improved in all these places. Okay, so we went from 9.6% full attainment to 74%. That is awesome. That is a huge success story. We went from 82% non-attainment to only 3.5%. To break that down even further, oh, this one downloaded weird. All right, don't love that. We went 82 to 3.5 in 22 years. Dead to alive. That's crazy. That's insane for a river, to have no life to actually being full of life.
So is there something like what, I mean, obviously if it's dead, it's dead, there's nothing living, but why do they say it's full? Do they, like what's the measure to go to say, yes, this is?
100%.
100%.
Well, no,
This is like blue again, is what that would be.
Yeah, so how do you get to blue? Like,
How do you
what's
get to
the-
blue?
like-
So that's when the Ohio Bee's coming in, and that's when they're testing for all the, they're looking at the fish. The fish don't have delts anymore. There's way more
Okay,
fish.
so-
There's
so there
different
are-
kinds of species of
So
fish.
the measurable things are like the fish aren't diseased and they're living and they're actually breeding
Yes.
to do that stuff.
Yep,
Okay.
and there's more of them. There's
Right.
different kinds of species. There's life here. This is an ecosystem. There's
Right.
stuff happening. Yeah, so we were able to succeed in that. Some things that helped with that is because as a group of people, Allen County got really scared, like I said, 1987. That's scary to hear that your river is dead.
Do you remember any of that?
That's terrifying. So they worked really hard and put stuff into place. They started following rules harder. They started having cleanups. They started
Cleanups.
encouraging people to not dump, encouraging people to clean up their waste, encouraging people to become educated on the river. Things like the Soil and Water District really started pushing education. 1993, that's when the Ottawa River Coalition started. We promoted the wise use of water and how we need to be involved and care about this thing that's flowing through our rivers. Another thing that
Do you ever
happened,
go through the rivers and just clean it up?
we do.
I mean, like the rivers themselves, like pulling out old bicycles or.
Yep,
Okay.
give me a minute.
You get into that?
So, in 2020, the old Allentown Dam over on Allentown Road, this is a low head dam that was no longer in use of anything other than being there.
Where's that at?
It was over on Allentown, by the Allentown Methodist Church. This was not, so it wasn't in use anymore. It was fine, it was there, but it actually separated, if I go back to here, it actually separated this partial attainment area and this full attainment area. Now, there has been a lot of removal of old low head dams. So the Ottawa River Coalition raised funds and decided to remove it.
What's the difference between a low head and, I guess a dam stops everything, but a low head allows some.
A low head dam, as you can see, allows water through. Now, sometimes it did have purposes. Sometimes it could be for energy, sometimes it could be for kayaking, just holding some water back so kayaks can go. They had purposes, and some, I'm even going to say, didn't have purposes. People wanted to put them in because they wanted a little waterfall. This one had a use, but it was not in use anymore. And in fact, it was just holding back sediment and separating that partial attainment and that full attainment sections. So the Ottawa River Coalition came in and we decided to remove it. But we took a lot of precaution in removing this because we did not want to make matters worse by removing something that could have potentially spread a lot of extra sediment into that full attainment area. We didn't want to make that area bad. So we actually went in and we scoped the area for mussels. So all the area that was dried on the sides, we took our mussels and we put them back into the river. We went in and removed the log jam. We went in and spread the debris around so that it wasn't all stuck in one area. This was a
That's
huge
natural
project.
debris, right?
The debris from the breaking of the dam. So they broke the dam up, they removed some of it, and some of it they spread out naturally because it's concrete. So we're hoping that by removing that dam, our water quality improved. The other thing the Ottawa River Coalition has done is in 2024, the ORC removed over 200 tires, 10 bikes, a baby stroller, 2 shopping carts,
And a partridge in a pear tree.
yeah, I think that one's 3 flat screen TVs,
Oh my
and
God.
all of that was in
Why
about
do-
all of that was in about a
Can I tell you,
300-yard
people that
stretch.
litter are that's my biggest
Pet peeve.
complaint.
Yeah.
Pet peeve.
So in about 300 yards, so 3 football
Imagine
fields,
throwing
all
a
of that
baby
was
stroller in
removed.
the lake.
And that's probably not even all of it.
Well, in the 300 yards, that was all of it. We removed
Oh.
everything.
Oh, in 300 yards, what about the other 10 miles?
Yeah. So this is the first year of the project that we had. In the 1980s, 1990s, people were actually told to take their old tires and throw them into the river. This was because people said, hey, it'll make great habitat for the fish, have a good time, let it out.
Wow.
But we have to live and we learn. People used to be told to dump your old medications down the toilet, and that was the best way to do it, and we learned that that wasn't the right thing to do. So we now know not to put your tires in the river, and now we're working to remove them.
Where was that 300 yards?
That was between Collett Street and Pierce Street. Or sorry, Collett Street and Central Avenue. Yeah. So this year we're gonna pick it up again right there on Central and keep going. And so we have, there's me in the river. This is our chairman, Adam Honhorst. And then this is my coworker, Melinda and Adam. And these are the lovely men of the streets department, and they're helping us remove those tires.
What do you do with them?
We take them, the city of Lima has a tire agreement with Rumpke. So if you are a city of Lima resident, you can take your old tires. You have to bring, I believe, a water bill with you, and you can get rid of, I believe, 2 tires per year at the Rumpke
Wow.
station. Don't quote me for sure
What do
on
they do
that,
with them?
but
You shred them and give them to somebody else?
we have a lot of tires. We're not going to shred them and give them to somebody else.
I said it because I took a bunch of my, like, old paint and stuff that was in my house when I bought it and took it to the NCO place out there by the,
Yep, the North Central Solid Waste District.
yeah, and I said, what do you guys do with it? They go, oh, we separate this stuff out and part of it goes down to someplace in Dayton. And they do something with it and then they sell it to somebody else. So it's like they break apart the paint or whatever it is and sell that part over there to that guy and sell that over there to that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I was amazed.
No, yeah, recycling is definitely the great option, and the thing about these tires though too, we have to remember is that they've been in the river we found tires from back in the 1980s that were pulling out.
Yeah.
It's been soaking in the river. I don't really know if you want that. So, things to hit on. Here in Lima, we have factories, we have farmers, agribusiness, and education. So like I said, we need factories, we need farmers. It's important that we remember that all of these things are important as long as you are educated on those topics. Those are the main things that happen here in Lima. We have a lot of factories, we have a lot of farmers, we have a lot of agribusiness. So let's make sure we have a lot of education as well, to make sure that those things are going on properly, to make sure that we're not scared of these entities, because in theory, they should be following the rules, and they should be regulated, and they should be doing okay.
Do you guys have a program to go out to the factories and the farmers and say, hey, Cenovis, you guys are doing this, or here's how you can do
So
this?
Cenovis has a citizens advisory panel that I am a member of, but it's a lot of members of the community where we get together and we can discuss things that are going on at Cenovis and discuss things that are if there's a concern in the community, that they make sure that Synovus hears that, and Synovus will answer, and so we have something to give back as a response. Synovus has their own environmental team, that they have their own water testing facility. They have a lot of procedures in place because they have to. It's regulated, if something happens, it is a mistake, and they have people to help fix that. So.
But, I mean, like, I just used to know because it's out there.
Yeah,
But like-
yeah.
But like the Ford plant and, some of these other
Mhm.
industries that, or businesses that, are large scale, like the Fords, and
Yeah.
I don't even know it's around here, but do you guys engage with them to just say, hey, if something happens environmentally, you can come to us or engage how to do things better where you're at or something like that?
Sure. So those big industries like Ford, they also have environmental specialists
okay.
on their teams. Absolutely, because environment is such a concern. They have environmental specialists or something of that title on their team to make sure everything falls in place. They are, and they have a safety procedure plan for who they contact. And 90% of the time, I would say we are either on that contact list or we are on the contact list of someone on their contact list. So we do fall into play within that, as Soil and Water, not as Ottawa River Coalition. But we are in that line of call to say, hey, this happened. Yeah. All right, you can prevent water pollution. How can you prevent water pollution? These are my fun little doodles. You can throw your trash in the trash can, and that's the simplest one. All that littering and all that dumping that ended up in our rivers that we went out and picked up, those are the big things. Those are the tires, the bikes, the shopping carts. The little things like your trash from your lunch or from your picnic or what have you, as long as that makes it in the trash can and not blowing away in the wind, that is actually making a very big difference. The amount of bags, I think everyone can look at a tree and see a plastic bag in it and go, ugh, that's ugly. Well, a little fish getting stuck in a plastic bag doesn't really like it either. All right. Don't throw away the rule book when it comes to fertilizing. Make sure you read it and you follow the directions as you should. And then your plants will grow happy and healthy, because actually if you put too much fertilizer in your plants, it can kill them. So don't throw away the rule book. All right. So, storm drains. As I said earlier, we are mapping all of the storm drains in our specific boundary of Allen County. Allen County is kind of unique. In the city of Lima, we do have a combined sewer system. So sometimes the water gets cleaned first before it goes back into the river. But I'm going to tell you that 99% of the time, what goes into a storm drain ends up right in our river and does not get cleaned first when it's outside of the city limits. This is because storm drains are sensitive pathways to our rivers. So nothing but rain down the drain is what I tell kids. Better safe than sorry. Don't put anything down the drain, even in the city of Lima, because you don't want to overwhelm our combined sewers as well. You want them to do the job as they're supposed to. So nothing but rain down the drain.
How do you tell the difference between a storm drain and a sewer drain?
A lot of times they're one and the same. If it's a combined sewer system like it is here in Lima, like I said, it's one and the same. If you walk out of the city of Lima limits and you're walking in one of the townships, that's more so a storm drain. It's going straight to the waterways. That's why I say when in doubt, it's just a storm drain. Think of it going to the river. Don't put anything down the drain. I tell the kids, if you throw a rock in the storm drain, it might bonk a fish in the head, and no one likes getting bonked in the head with a rock.
So would it be, like, part of my landscaping project that I did last year
Okay.
was water mitigation from my backyard because it would flood, right? So I took the like spouting downspouts and stuff, and I redirected them to like the front of my yard, right? So now it has a little pop-up drain. It rains when it pops up and it spits it out, right? And the others were tied into the already thing going to the storm drain,
Okay.
right? But could I have just taken those out from like the front yard and just take them out to the street?
No.
No?
No, that is, you are not to empty something from your property. There is a way that you could have done it, but you need to go through a professional, if you will, and they'll hook it up and make sure it goes the right ways and it's not going directly into a storm drain, if you will, or maybe
Okay.
it runs off through the grass first. Yeah, but you don't want to take really anything from your house and spit it right into the street. If it has some room in the grass, so it has some room to soak up in the grass
Yeah,
or to get
and
rid of
and
any
that's what I did.
impurities, sure, yes, yes.
But, so, I mean, I ended up doing that
Mhm.
because I didn't want to, I'm not going to dump it straight into there.
Right, because you don't want to put anything in the storm drain. Putting it in the grass is the best option because the grass will soak it up, and if anything were to get mixed up with it, it's in your grass.
It would end up in the soil and not in,
Yes. Yep.
okay.
All right, so you can plant trees. The city of Lima has a tree rebate program that they run through Allen Soil and Water Conservation District, where we will come out and we will have a consultation with you to discuss right tree, right place. We can discuss, yes, this tree would be perfect here. You sign a contract that says, I'm going to plant this tree here. You do so. Then I come out after the tree is planted. I say, yes, that is the tree we talked about in the place we talked about. Fantastic. You will get a check in the mail for 50% of the cost of the planting, or the cost of the tree. After our next board meeting and I get it approved. We also have a rain barrel rebate. This is for, the city of Lima can get a rebate for $60. If you are in Bath Township, American Township, Perry Township, Shawnee Township, or the village of Elida, you can get a $25 rebate for the proper installation of a rain barrel of at least 45 gallons or more. So, the Allen Soil and Water Conservation District sells rain barrels for $110. Right now we have two colors, black and gray. And you can purchase those on our website or through sending in an order form to our office. But what this looks like is you can buy the rain barrel from anywhere, including us. You can go on Amazon and buy it, it does not matter, but it needs to have a lid. And it needs to be 45 gallons or more. I come out after you have it installed and I make sure it's installed properly with the lid on, make sure that it's connected to however it's supposed to be connected. I need a copy of the receipt if you didn't buy it from us, and then I say, great job, you did it, and you'll get a check in the mail for X amount.
So what can you use a rain barrel for?
Rain barrels are used for watering your garden, and they're only used for watering your garden because it is collecting water from your roof. So it could have shingles or specks from your shingles, or it could have bird poop in it. You and your dog do not want to drink those things, but your plants do. Your plants would love it. So you can take it from the spigot there and just water your garden with it, and your plants will be very happy and very healthy. Yeah, rain barrels are very cool. We're not going to watch this today.
Could I just use that to water my yard?
Yes, you can use it to water your yard. Yep, yeah. We won't watch this today, but this is a video that is located on the Ottawa River Coalition's YouTube page. If you go to YouTube, you can just look up the Ottawa River Coalition, and this video is on it. This video dives in a little bit deeper about the history of our river and where we came from today to get to a better place than, dead.
Is that Haver Park? Isn't there a Haver Park?
I don't
Johnny
know.
Appleseed Haver Park?
I think that's Ottawa Metro Park.
Well, no, I mean Kevin Haver.
Oh, Kevin Haver. He was the director of Johnny Appleseed, yes.
So, but isn't there a Haver Park in the Johnny Appleseed?
Oh, I'm not really
Park
familiar with all of the park systems.
I'm
Maybe.
pretty sure Haver Park is in there somewhere. Anyway.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so this is my information. The bottom there got cut off, but that is www.thisismyriver.org. And if you have any questions, you feel free to email me or give me a call.
Do you have a business